far as draft steals, who comes to mind for you as the one steal of the draft, Kurt?
We talked about this. Tyrese Haliburton sliding all the way down to the Kings at number 10. How does that happen? Like, how does that come up? Like, this is a guy who a lot of teams were talking about higher in the draft. Now he walks into Sacramento. You can play him next to De'Aaron Fox and then use him as the backup point. He's not going to necessarily take shots. He can get the ball to Buddy Hield. He's not necessarily just trying to take his shots away as a score first guy. He can defend. He just steps in with a mature game that's going to desperately fit what the Kings need. If they can, keep Bagley healthy, suddenly that becomes. I mean, the West is stacked, but that is a really interesting team being built in Sacramento. And you saw the reaction in their draft room. That wasn't, how should I put this? It wasn't like staged. Like they knew they were on camera, but that was genuine. They were like, I can't believe Haliburton fell to us. We had him way higher. They were jumping all over the place.
When you talk about a player who's that smart, who's that good of a leader, who can help you on both ends of the floor, I don't understand how that many teams could pass up on him. But hey, the Kings, like you said, they're building something really interesting. I don't know. Historically, the front office has made questionable decisions over the past decade or so. So you think, okay, well, we'll see what's happening in Sacramento. But Marvin Bagley, once again, athletic tools, physical gifts. He's in one of a special category. Really, really speaking. So I think it'd be interesting to see him and Haliburton play side by side in whatever pieces that they put around them in the future. But that team, still needs a lot of work, but it is very, very interesting. For me, one of the biggest steals that I thought was RJ Hampton going so late to Denver. I really, really like his game. And I know that when you talk about the NBL, everyone thinks LaMelo Ball. But this kid, RJ Hampton, when you actually watch his tape, this young man, he's talented.
Yeah,
he's talented, and I think he'll be able to bring some really nice compliments to what they have in Denver. So I'm excited to see him play next to Jokic, next to Murray. It's going to be interesting. I think immediate impact as well.
This is one of those guys who was a top player in high school who kind of fell down boards during, while overseas, and after that. Those kind of players sometimes, not always, but sometimes those guys get in the NBA, get into that professional environment and thrive. Like they've got the athletic talent. They didn't fit for whatever reason there in their previous settings. Denver's a great developmental program too. I mean, look, if you go back, they're going through Jokic and Murray, but also the Torrey Craigs and everybody on that roster. They are one of the best developmental teams. And this is a great landing spot for RJ. Like, this is just, I think that if he's going to thrive, he needed to be in a place like this where there wasn't going to be immediate pressure. Like, you've got to carry us. Here's the ball. You got to do something. He doesn't have to do that. That Jokic guy he's pretty good. They'll be fine. But it gives him a chance to kind of develop into a role there, and that role can really expand over the years. So it's a great spot for him.
And as a young player, particularly as we keep going younger and younger and younger, it's almost cyclical in the sense you think about when I was growing up, you had Kobe Bryant, Kevin Garnett, these guys who were very talented coming out of high school. And it took them years to develop in the league to become the superstars, the transcendent superstars that they were. And then you had guys who were almost just ready to plug and play, a la a Tim Duncan, someone who's just 4 years come in, superstar right away. And then now we're back almost to this 19-year-old, like James Wiseman only played 3 games. It's almost as if he came out of high school, really.
Yeah.
But the best place for these young guys to be in is exactly what you're describing. A place like Denver, who's willing to give you 4 or 5 years to come into your own, put you in a great program where you can come off the bench, or Michael Porter Jr. is a good example too, of being able to contribute in playoff situations right away as well. So I love that spot for him. It's a dream scenario for any young guy.
Exactly. And look, you're right, by the way. A few years ago, you did not have this kind of developmental thing with teams. Every team now has a whole developmental staff, right? They've got an assistant coach and guys who are out there to help them develop. Some of them are better at it than others, though. Toronto is amazing at it. The Spurs have historically been really good at it. And like we said, Denver's been really good at this. And that's why it makes a great landing spot for RJ.
I'm excited to see all these guys' career pan out. And I guess it's in a month. So we'll see very quickly what comes out of this draft.